You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to speak to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Do you understand these rights as they have been read to you?
Today, most Americans know their Miranda rights, whether from television or from personal experience, but not everyone knows where these rights originated from. The Miranda rights were created because people weren't aware of their rights under the Fifth Amendment, stating that no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Because many people didn't know their rights, police were able to question them unconstitutionally, and individuals were arrested based on things they would say, not knowing that they had the right to stay silent. One certain case, Miranda versus Arizona, changed the way things worked and made it lawful for police to notify an arrested individual of their constitutional rights. In 1963, Ernesto Miranda was arrested on suspicion of kidnapping and rape after being identified in a police lineup. Miranda wasn't read his constitutional rights and was interrogated by the police for 2 hours. By the end of the questioning, Miranda had signed a written confession to the crime with no knowledge of his rights. Because of his confession, he was originally sentenced to 2 terms of 20 to 30. It was ever since the Miranda versus Arizona case that police officers and other officials are required to read the individual that they are arresting their constitutional rights. These are also known as their Miranda rights. An example of this impact is the Missouri versus Siebert. In this case, Siebert wasn't read her rights, and she was questioned unconstitutionally. After appealing to the Missouri Supreme Court, her statement was removed.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to speak to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Do you understand these rights as they have been read to you?
Agreeing with his client, Miranda's lawyer believed that because he wasn't read his rights, Miranda's confession should not be counted in court. Miranda appealed to as many courts as he could, only to have each Arizona court deny his right and rule against him. It was only when Miranda appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court did he succeed in removing his confession from. At that time, the Supreme Court was also hearing 3 other cases alike, in the sense that they were denied their constitutional rights. It was obvious to many that the issue needed to be resolved. In Miranda's case, the Supreme Court ruled in a 5-4 decision, the majority agreeing that Miranda's confession was unconstitutionally claimed and invalid for evidence. Ever since the Miranda versus Arizona case in 1966, the police officers and other officials are required to read the individual that they're arresting their constitutional rights, also known as the Miranda rights.
Signing off from Towson High.